What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. This is episode number 49. We started this off with a fixture for November. As you can see, Leicester, Chelsea, Leeds, Southampton, tough games in the Premier League, and also match days 4 and 5 in the Europa League group stage. After 3 wins from 3, just a 1 more win at home to Anderlecht. So far winless in the group, will see us through. And coming on the back of our penalty shootout victory against Wolves at Molineux, I'm still gleaming off of that, man. I'm still gleaming because anyone that's watched me for a while knows that I'm just not very good at penalties, and that goes for scoring as it does for saving. Okay, I'm not disastrous, but I'm not great by any stretch of the imagination. Back in the day, you know, this is going to be hard to believe for many of you, but I used to be lights out from 12 yards, but also from free kicks as well. I used to be deadly, but now I can't score a free kick to save my life. I didn't score a single free kick in last year's FIFA. No, I mean that. Like, for those thinking I'm exaggerating, no, I mean I didn't score a single free kick in FIFA last year, and I've only scored 2 in this FIFA so far. None in this save though, of course. But the penalties, even penalties, I'm still quite poor at them since the change to the way set pieces are taken. But I'm still gleaming off of that, man. Honestly, through to the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup, and our impressive run continues. Starting the season off, we've won every single game apart from one that came at home to Crystal Palace, of course. So following game here, back to matters in the Premier League. Leicester away at the King Power. Could we keep the run going? Well, Conor Gallagher goes to the league. Great start to teams for him, and then this, 63 minutes in, one of the best disallowed goals you will ever see, and it was very tight. I've got to be honest, I think the knee was just in an offside position, but it was very, very tight indeed. And it begs the question, what is the best disallowed goal you have ever seen? I would love to know your comments on this, because the one that always comes to mind when I think about disallowed goals that, oh, if they would have counted, I mean, it would have gone down in history as an amazing goal in that player's career. And I think many of you will know what goal I'm referencing here. Now, I think it came in an international friendly or possibly a qualifier. I'm not too sure, but it is Cristiano Ronaldo's goal for Portugal. I think it was against Spain. I might be wrong about that, but I'm sure you know what goal I'm referencing. When he does some skill from a tight angle on the left-hand side, then dinks it, chips it over the goalkeeper, and Nani heads in on the line, and the goal is disallowed for offside. Now, I've seen, apparently it was the wrong decision, and it should have stood, even though Nani would have claimed it, and Ronaldo would have had to settle for an assist. But even so, it was disallowed, apparently wrongfully, for offside. But it's got to be the best slash worst disallowed goal I've ever seen. Heartbreaking, and for a player of Ronaldo's caliber, one of the greatest of all time, to have had that goal in his arsenal. I mean, honestly, for all the incredible goals he scored, you know, the long-range screamers versus Porto, that free kick against Arsenal, the bicycle kick. I mean, like, all the goals this guy has scored in his career, that would have been one of the absolute all-time greatest. Probably his best for Portugal as well. Gutting that got ruled out there, and that Leicester goal kind of reminded me of that. An amazing goal which, like, it didn't deserve to be disallowed because of how good it is. It kind of reminds me of, like, in basketball, you know, I'm a big NBA fan, like when there's a big poster dunk and then it gets, like, chalked off for an offensive foul. It's like, no, just let it stand. Even if it probably was debatable, please just let it stand, man. It was extraordinary. But anyway, we won that game 2-0. Mavididi wrapped up later on, and then we beat Anderlecht in midweek by a goal to nil. Hudson-Odoi was second of the group stage so far in a 1-0 victory. To be honest here in the Europa League, I've been quite surprised about it. Like, I saw the group draw, and with no disrespect to Derry City, I thought we'd beat them home and away, because I normally do tend to beat the Irish team home and away. Whenever I face an Irish team, I do tend to beat them home and away quite comfortably. But I thought Anderlecht and AZ Alkmaar would be quite tough for me. Instead, we kind of brushed them aside. 4 games in, 4 wins, 12 points on the board, qualification in the bag, and all we got to do is avoid defeat on match day 5 against AZ Alkmaar, and we will qualify as group winners with a game to spare as well. So, following that, we had a bid for Hans Hatteber. We signed him last year on a 1.5-year deal on a free transfer. You know, he came even has steadied the ship a little bit. Nathan Patterson got injured towards the back end of last season, so you would have regularly seen him on the bench as Milan van Uwijk, sorry, was a regular starter. But this season, despite selling the Dutch right back, we've obviously gone and signed Jed Spence from Spurs, so we don't really need Hatterberg in the final year of his contract. He'd either leave on a free transfer come the end of the season, or we'll try and raise some cash. I'll get 13 mil from AC Milan. My ego took a little bit of a hit there. I've talked about this before. It's always a bit of an ego hit, you know. It always hurts your ego a little bit when you can't even squeeze a penny more out of the club that's offering the bid. But even so, Hatterberg is going to go to AC Milan. You would have seen I turned down a bit from Arsenal there. I'm not in the business of strengthening a division rival. This year we are off to an amazing start in the top 4 and potential outside title rivals for the championship this year. I'm in no business of strengthening a rivals. If Hatterberg is going to leave, I'm selling him outside of the division. Anyway, for the following game, it was Chelsea at Goodison Park. Obviously, starting the season off, Chelsea off to a decent start once again this season. Last year, we finished above them though in the table after they finished in 7th place. Heading into this game, I was thinking, great run of form for the Toffees, but the only time we've lost all season long, when every single game was at this very ground. It came recently, a few weeks ago, to Roy Hodgson's Crystal Palace. You heard me talk about this at length in the last episode. That has now been confirmed. Hodgson taking over. Listen, I have no doubt it will keep Crystal Palace up, but, you know, I still think Patrick Vieira would have kept Crystal Palace up. So for me, it just seems like a bit of a, not necessarily a waste of time, but firstly a waste of compensation fee for Crystal Palace, and also a step backwards where Vieira's building something. Now they sort of hit the reset button, and they'll need a new manager come the summer when Hodgson inevitably says, yeah, I've done my job. I can't see Hodgson staying on for another year if Palace stay up, but I guess you never know. But even so, we lost to Crystal Palace and now taking on Chelsea. Man, this was one of those games where I thought, are we really good enough to challenge for the title? Absolutely dominated. I always say, I present the highlights package very fairly. I'll never show you a game where, you know, it looks as though I've lost undeservedly when I've been battered. No. If I've been battered, I'll show you I've been battered. Hold my hands up in a minute, I was second best. In that game, I definitely was. Patrick Schick got a goal. Federico Chiesa bagged a brace. I mean, that was just such a tough game. Lost it 4-1. Weston McKennie did get me a goal, but ultimately, yeah, I mean, I got absolutely destroyed in that one. 4-1 was actually a little bit, I guess, lenient on me. Really did not play well in that one whatsoever. So, second loss of the season, both coming at Goodison Park. So, for the following game, tough one away against Leeds United at Ellen Road. I was thinking, okay, alright, we've won every single away day this season. So fair enough, disappointed to know already 2 losses at home this season, but if we're better on the road this year, let's prove it. And I mentioned before, there are many things you need if you're going to win the title, and one is resilience, the bounce back ability, if you will. If you slip up in a game, you got to respond in the following. So Leeds away, Ellen Road, not an easy game, but a game we should be targeting the 3 points. Action-packed first half, both teams getting chances, but right before the break, Jock's icon, Ludwig Ajorque. Yes, part of my Norwich team in my Football Manager save a few years ago. Ludwig Ajorque gets the lead for Leeds, and they do take the lead. So it's 1-0 Leeds in front. In the second half, really disappointed, wasn't creating chances. Did score my 11th from a set piece though, Romelu Lukaku, heading in a corner from close range, and in stoppage time, still tied at 1-1. Right towards the final whistle, a complete scramble, and Kefren Turam, what a time to get your first goal of the season and your first goal since the injury that ruled him out for a large part of the back end of last season. Kefren Turam, you know I love him. Great camera angle here, celebrating with the away fans here at Ellen Road. What a moment. Just a total chaotic goal line scramble. Hit the woodwork. Leeds give it away. And Turam takes advantage. I missed a golden chance for him initially. Great save by the keeper. But you ain't going to miss twice. Got a second bite of the cherry. And this time gobbles it up. Yeah, a comeback win for Everton. That's already our 3rd or possibly 4th of the season, man. You'd love to see it. And like I said, resilience. That's one way we can be in a serious title threat this season. Not giving up when we go a goal behind. Again, 2nd or possibly 3rd time this season, or maybe even 4th thinking about it, we've came from behind to pick up the win. We do it there in stoppage time. Turam with the game winner with his 1st goal of the season. So 2-1 the final score, big bounce back victory there. And for our final game today, Thursday night away in Netherlands, AZ Alkmaar. Like I said, both of us already guaranteed to be going through to the knockout stages. It now just depends on who tops the group. All we needed to do was avoid defeat, but I wanted to keep our perfect record in Europe going and our 100% record away from home this season. And what a fantastic start after the restart. Steffi Mavrididi gives us the opener, and to be fair, in a bit of an uneventful game, not much going on in this one. Steffi Mavrididi, talk about turning it around, gives us the game winner, maintains our perfect record on the road this season, 5 wins from 5, and it means that against Derry City in the final group game, we already know us and AZ Alkmaar are going through. We've already now guaranteed top spot. We can just throw out the kids. But that will end today's episode of the Realistic Criminal, guys. And I just want to say a big thank you for watching the first 49 episodes of The Save. If you're new viewer to the channel, then basically every time I hit 50 or 100 episodes in a series, I do a special thank you episode that's coming out in the next one. And I really hope you guys enjoy it. It should be a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, guys. Much love to you all. And I'll see you for the next episode, the special thank you episode number 50, very soon.